What's up guys, Trilogy here. Today we're going to be doing a tier list for Drake's albums in anticipation of Certified Lover Boy dropping September 3rd. I am a huge Drake fan. Off the top of my head, if I had to pick a favorite rapper, it'd be really close between Drake and Lil Wayne. It wasn't until I did this tier list, I literally re-listened to every Drake album today. I listened to all of his albums today, re-listened to them just to make sure everything was fresh. I had updated opinions. After time passes, sometimes our tastes develop and we change as people. So I wanted to have fresh opinions in anticipation of this album drop. So I found this tier list maker, of course, online. And if you look at the EPs, we're not going to be doing Room for Improvement. We're not going to be doing the Closer to My Dreams mixtape or anything like that. It also had the Scary Hours, which had the Omerta and then Money in the Grave singles, I believe. And no, it was the Omerta and it was a duo single thing, but we're not going to be doing that. It also has the Money in the Grave single, and then for some reason this tier list had 2 So Far Gone album spots, and I don't know why. So I just picked the album cover that I like best, which is the white one down here. I like this one best, so that's the one we're going to be using. And we're going to be going alphabetically through the albums. So we're going to be starting with Drake Care Package. Care Package dropped in 2018. It had an assortment of different singles and leaked songs throughout Drake's career. And it was really exciting to see these songs officially released, because back in the day, I had to pirate these songs. Like The Motion, man, The Motion was good. How About Now? There are just a lot of really good songs on this album that leaked, and it was nice to see Drake officially release them. There was also Can I with Beyonce, like, whew. Yeah, this thing was really good. I'm going to be putting it, as far as Drake goes, he releases a lot of music, in my opinion, but not all of it is good. And I think in this case, Care Package is probably going to be an average release. So it's going to be going, let's see, I'm gonna put it low B tier. That's where I'm gonna put Care Package. I feel really good about it just because there's a lot of good songs on there. I Get Lonely, 5 a.m. in Toronto, 4 p.m. in Calabasas. These are great songs and they are both on here. Days in the East, Trust Issues. Yeah, this is gonna be low B tier, I feel like. Up next, we're gonna have Dark Lane Demo Tape. This album name is weird. I don't know what's up with that name, but it's gonna have some good songs. The Tootsie Slide, which has a lot of star power. Losses, From Florida with Love. There's a lot of good songs on here. Also, of course, don't forget When to Say When. Don't forget Chicago Freestyle. Both of those songs are really good. I remember when they first came out and they were just one song. I loved the transition between both of those songs, and it's gone now. Like, you can't listen to it that way anymore. And I don't know if it's because I removed it from my library or if somebody out there still has it, but the Chicago Freestyle When to Say When transition was amazing. I loved that. But that said, overall, I didn't really like the feel of this album too much. It was a much more aggressive Drake. And I like kind of the softer side of Drake, you know. I like when he talks his trash, you know. I like when he puts his chest down and everything like that. But overall, this album was also really short. I am doing like a percentile thing, so I have kind of pre-ranked these, and I'm just making the decision as I'm making this. The reason I put Care Package in B is because there were 17 songs off of it, and this is nice. This 17 is really Drake's sweet spot. On a lot of his newer albums, he puts out a bunch of long albums, and there's a lot of songs on them, and there's usually about 15 good songs regardless of how good his album is. In the case of Care Package, there were, in my opinion, I liked 12 out of those songs. If I divide 12 by 17 to get the average or percentile of what I like off of that, it gives me 71. This tier list has a S tier, and I want to use the S tier just to emphasize how good some of these albums are. So instead of making it 71, in my head, I gave it an 81, and that's how it ended up in the low B tier. Moving on to Dark Lane. Dark Lane has 14 songs on there, and I only liked 7 of them. 7 of them, no, I'm looking at the track list right now. I liked 9 of them out of there. 9 of them, that gives it a 64, which gives it right in the middle of C tier. So this is gonna be a C tier album, and there's gonna be a trend on recent releases on tiers for Drake and everything like that. After that, we're gonna have If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. This album, boy, when this came out in high school, this album was amazing. And for the longest, If You're Reading This Too Late, it might still be my favorite album, but as far as like quantity of songs that I like and stuff like that, it's not as high as it used to be, but you get Energy, Know Yourself, 10 Bands, No Telling, 6 God, 6 Man. Man, yeah, this album is amazing as far as that goes. There's a lot of songs on here that are really good. 17 songs, and I liked 15 out of them. I didn't like Preach, and I didn't like Wednesday Night Interlude. And I don't have anything against Party Next Door, although I have never sat down and listened to any of his albums. But we're gonna be putting If You're Reading This Too Late in the high B tier. You know, we're gonna put it in front of Care Package. It's not quite, well, actually, I forget that I'm doing this. So it's gonna be high A tier. It's not quite S tier, but this is gonna be a really good Drake album. It's almost perfect as far as Drake albums go. After If You're Reading This Too Late, we're gonna jump a little bit forward in time, and we're gonna come down to More Life, which is, I guess, technically a playlist. And More Life is gonna have some really good songs also. I loved, this might be, never mind, Tungsten Leather is pretty good. I was about to say, Free Smoke is probably my favorite intro to one of Drake's albums, but I don't know, Tuscan Leather off of Nothing Was the Same is really good. But this is gonna get Passion Fruit, really good. We're gonna get Blim, 4422, which isn't a Drake song, but I like it and it's on the album. So I feel like it's part of the theme of the album. KMT with Gigs, that song is hilarious, but for some reason it's still really good. Can't Have Everything, you know, the star power behind Fake Love. There's definitely hits on this album, but overall, More Life is 22 songs, and yeah, it's one of those longer albums as far as that goes. Whenever I say longer albums, I like a longer album because the more songs an artist puts on an album, the more songs that artist puts out, the more chances are for me to find a song that I like. A lot of people prefer shorter albums just because that artist probably focused more on that smaller assortment of songs. So some people like those 10-song albums. But in my case, usually in my experience, I still like the same percentile of songs. So say an artist drops 20 songs, if I usually like 15 of those, if I usually like 10 of those. I'm not good at math. I could have probably still used that, but I don't want to. An artist drops 20 songs, I like 10 of those songs. That's a 50% rate. Say an artist drops 10 songs, I'll probably still only like 5 of those songs instead of being more likely to like those 10. That's just my opinion. So I do prefer longer albums, especially when an artist only drops music every 2 to 3 years. Drake is not one of those artists. He puts out a project every year of some sort. In some cases, he did 2 albums. Care Package and More Life both dropped in 2018. So that was 2 projects that year. Although Care Package was basically a compilation of older songs, still. So yeah, this More Life is a longer album, and out of the longer albums, I liked 14 songs off of it, which gives it a 64. Which, since we have this S tier, that's gonna put it right in the middle of C tier. So this is gonna be our first contest on here: More Life or Dark Lanes. Just in my opinion, I did like more songs off of More Life, so I'm gonna put it in front of Dark Lanes just because I feel like there's more songs. I liked Drake's energy more back then. We had a little bit more singing songs, I guess. But if I did the math for the amount of songs on each album that I liked out of how many songs were on it, they both come out to the exact same percentile. So we're gonna be less logical with this decision and actually be a little bit more emotional. And that is how I'm going to put More Life in front of Dark Lanes. Next up, we're gonna have Nothing Was the Same. I'm not even gonna baby it. Nothing Was the Same is definitely going in our S tier. Nothing Was the Same is an almost perfect album. I off the top of my head, I can't think of one song that I don't like on here. Although in my notes, I put 14 out of 15. So there's one song on there that I don't like, but I just love all of the vibes off of this album. Tuscan Leather was really good. From Time, Too Much. Anything, Drake needs to collaborate with Sampha more, or Sampha. That singer, although I've listened to some of his albums and I'm not a big fan of his music, he can definitely sing and he can make or break a song on the hooks that he does. That Drake fell off. I'm not saying he fell off. Drake needs to collaborate more with Sampha because Sampha makes the background vocals in so many songs for him, and it's crazy. I even love the album cover. Like, look at this album cover. It's amazing. I mean, look at the rest of Drake's album covers. I mean, they're not really all that impressive. But this one is probably my favorite Drake album cover. If you're reading this, It's Too Late was also suspenseful. I remember because it was like a surprise drop out of nowhere, no marketing or anything. But nothing was the same. I don't even have to talk about it. You knew this was gonna be up here if you're a Drake fan. There's no contesting how great Nothing Was the Same was. Next up, we're gonna do Scorpion, which is Drake's latest album. Actually, Dark Lanes came out. I always forget about Dark Lanes for some reason. I feel like it was like a surprise drop also, no marketing. But some people will call it a tape since that's tape in the title. But I can understand that. Next up, we're gonna have Scorpion, which is 25 songs. If you've heard Certified Lover Boy, is also 25 songs. There are a lot of songs on here that are just average, but I can still nod my head to. So that definitely, I count that as like a good song. Although if the song is really average, but like if I hear it, I'll sing it or I could vibe to it. I count that as a positive. So out of 25 songs, I liked 19. Scorpion is Drake's longest album release up to date. Like, it's longest. And this was supposed to be like, he had a theme going on where it was a 2-disc thing. So part 1 was his rapping and his part 2 was his singing. Overall, and I like Drake singing and his rapping, but I think I prefer those songs where he sings more and raps versus the all rap. But in this case, I prefer the rap side of the album more. And I think out of the 25 songs, there were 19 songs, and that's a lot of songs. But because if we're doing percentiles, that puts it in the high B tier. And I definitely think this album, nostalgia's sake, will tell me Care Package is better because I have a lot of memories to those older songs, especially How About Now and The Motion. But overall, I think Scorpion is definitely better than Care Package as a complete album with themes and consistent raps, because Care Package is basically the forgotten hits of Drake throughout his career. There's not really a consistent theme. The styles are different. Old Drake raps differently than new Drake. So it's definitely different than having a consistent theme, which is what we get in Scorpion. Up next, we're gonna have Drake's first mixtape, but it's been not first mixtape, his main mixtape album type thing. This is like when Drake really started blowing up, I feel like. And it's released on all platforms also. So, I mean, it's definitely worth a listen. If you have not heard So Far Gone, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here watching a Drake compilation video? Go watch or go listen to So Far Gone and then come back in an hour and 30 minutes. So Far Gone is pretty good. As far as a mixtape goes, it was 18 songs. Out of those 18 songs, I liked 11. And I'm gonna put this in the C tier. On here, here I go saying it's really good and then putting it in the C tier. But you know, there's a D tier and an F tier. You guys see that, right? This album is really good. It's now just an argument of where we're gonna put it in the C tier. Do I like it more than More Life? I don't think so. And because these are pretty close, I think it's gonna be in the bottom of C tier. Drake is still getting his feet wet. He has a lot of those softer R&B songs on this album, which I like his softer R&B songs sometimes, but not all the time. So I'm not saying that brings the album down, but that's just something that I would critique on the album as far as that goes, or the mixtape, whatever you want to call it. Up next, we're gonna have Take Care. Take Care is an amazing album. This album is so close to being S tier. I'm gonna put it at the very top of A tier. I love Take Care. I love Take Care. I think it's just a little bit better than If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. I wish we got more Drake songs like Marvin's Room and Shot For Me. We'll Be Fine, like, oh my gosh, just the motto. There's so many songs on this album that are amazing. And I think it's just a little bit short of the greatness that is Nothing Was the Same. I feel like if we throw a lot of things into S tier, it kind of takes away what makes S tier so special. But Take Care had 19 songs on the deluxe edition, and I liked 17 out of them. So it's pretty high up there. As far as percentile, it got an 89, which if we added the 10 points because we have an extra tier here, that would be a 99. It's literally 1 point away from S tier. That's crazy to me, but we're gonna put it safely in the A tier. And if you're noticing a theme, the newer Drake albums are at the top. And I was having a talk with my friend the other day about Drake albums, and he was like, you know what, Drake hasn't released a great album in years. Like, he's released good albums, but nothing great. And I was like, no, that's not true. Scorpion was really good. More Life was really good. Reviews was really good. And after re-listening to those albums, they are good, but I wouldn't say they're really good. Whereas Nothing Was the Same, Take Care, if you're reading this, It's Too Late. These are really good albums, really good. But yeah, I mean, it's not all crazy because So Far Gone still ended up in the C tier. So it's not like Drake was perfect back then. But next up, we're gonna have Thank Me Later. This is Drake's first official album. Thank Me Later is really good. I love a lot of Thank Me Later songs. As far as how many there were 14 songs. This is not that long of an album. And out of those 14, I liked 10. So that's a pretty good percentile, and it's going to put us in the bottom of B tier. Now, do we like it more than Care Package is the question. And then do we like it more than Scorpion? This one has Fireworks, it has The Resistance, it has Over, Up All Night. I love Up All Night with Nicki Minaj. Drake also needs to do more songs with Nicki Minaj. Like, that man Drake blew up and just started doing features with people no one's ever heard of. Like, go back to the Nicki Minaj, The Weeknd, all of those features that you used to do, Drake. But this album, I'm trying to think, do I like it more than Care Package? I think they're just about the same. It's definitely not better than Scorpion. So it's going to be at Care Package or better than Care Package. And I think it's not going to beat out Care Package. I think it's going to be at the bottom of B tier. I think like I said earlier, it doesn't have like a set theme and everything like that. A lot of the songs from Care Package are during this time period of Drake's career. So I think they're pretty good. I'm going to put that's how I'm going to leave that. Up next, we're going to have Views, which was super hyped at the time. Views was super hyped. Views from the Sick was the original album name. This album was like Drake's first big long album where he upped it from like 15, 16, 17 songs to 20. He was testing the waters or something. And this album, I only liked like 12 songs off of it. And I don't know, I just didn't really feel Views. There's a lot of good songs on there. There's Hype, Western Rose Flows. I mean, there's so many good songs on this album. I mean, I say so many, I liked a little bit more than half. But that's why I'm gonna put this here, and I think it's comfortable being underneath So Far Gone. And that's just my opinion as far as that goes. Good album, like you see, it's still in the C tier. But I say if I had to put an album in the D tier, like if you asked me what was Drake's worst work of art, I would put Views there. But I don't think it's D tier. It's just if I had to pick something, that's what I would pick. Finally, we have Drake's last album, 2015. Wow, this album had my high school in clutches. And when I heard this album, I thought it was utter trash. I did not mess with Drake and Future, What a Time to Be Live. I loved Drake at the time. And like I said, I still love Drake, but I had a couple Future songs, but I did just not mess with this album at all. I thought this album, if I had to put it, I probably would have put it in F or D tier. But upon re-listening, I mean, this isn't my first time I've re-listened to it. There's definitely some songs that grew on me over time. Scholarships is definitely my favorite song off this album. And nothing else is really close to that. I guess maybe Live from the Gutter. Jersey is also pretty good. 30 for 30 is a kind of a weak send-off on this album, the final song on this album. But What a Time to Be Alive. Well, there's 11 songs. This is probably Drake's shortest release as far as that goes, especially since there was another artist to contribute. So out of those 11 songs, I liked 8 of them. So 8 out of 11 is actually pretty good. But that is including 30 for 30, which is, like I said, a pretty weak song. Drake's just talking, but I like the vibe of it. I'm gonna put this, it's probably gonna be in the middle of the B tier nowadays. As far as that goes, I'm trying to decide where we wanna put it in the B tier. Is it better than Thank Me Later? The vibes definitely are. Like, this is definitely like a party album. Like, it's all about boastful Drake. We don't have none of that emotional stuff. This is Drake in his bag, and he's matching the vibe of Future. I think he's matching Future's vibe in this album, even though it's Drake and Future. You know, they put Drake's name first on the billing. I think I like it more than Care Package 2. Now, is it better than Scorpion? I don't think it's better than Scorpion as far as that goes. I'm gonna put this right here in the B tier. And there we are, guys. This is the Drake tier list. I've ranked all of his albums, and they're gonna be ranked from up and then up, and they're gonna rank down and then over. So in his top 3, we're gonna have Nothing Was the Same, Take Care. If you're reading this, it's too late. These are my favorite 3 Drake albums. And then, I mean, Drake really does not miss. He does not have a bad album. See, there is a D tier here, and there is an F tier here. I just want to clarify, like, they weren't needed because this is Drake we're talking about. But then we have Scorpion, we have What a Time to Be Alive, Care Package, Thank Me Later. In our C tier, leading off, we have More Life, we have Dark Lane's demo tapes, we have So Far Gone, and then his worst project, in my opinion, is Views. But it is pretty close. I mean, it's not too far behind Dark Lane demo tapes, and it's not too far behind More Life. Like, I think it's all, these C albums are all really close as far as quality goes. But if I had to pick his worst album, I would definitely say it's Views. I thank you guys for sticking with me on this long video. This is Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. If you guys want to see more content like this, I definitely recommend you subscribe. I'm thinking of doing a Kanye tier list and after I finish Donda. It just hasn't caught me yet, but I'm sure there'll be something good off the Donda album, and I'm thinking about doing a Kanye West tier list next. If you guys want to see that, comment down below. And yeah, what's your favorite Drake album, or what's your top 3? Let me know, and we could talk about Drake in the comments down below. This is Trilogy with Trilogy Effect. I definitely recommend subscribing. I have curated playlists on my channel, and I'm sure there's something for you. I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, subscribe also, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.